Welcome back to the Picks and Bans phase here for game number 2 in our Consolation finals. This is down to the wire for FM eSports. They're one game down. I am Stress, alongside me is X-Scoundrel, and we're already flying through the bans.
Yeah, the winner of this will go on to face Rain eSports in the grand final. Rain have a one-game advantage right now. The loser will take third place, so not the be-all and end-all. You know, good amount of prize money going to the third place team, but I'm sure both of these teams are hungry for the top prize. So here we go. Kha'Zix being banned out, Jax being targeted against Tundra. Tundra having played a lot of Jax this tournament. Again, banning out the Kha'Zix is a solid ban because now it takes it away from Vizzy and in the jungle.
It lets the Leona through, so...
Oh, yes.
You know, Unicorns, we've seen first pick Leona. We've also seen them kind of give that away and then not really care too much about it. I know that sounds quite strange to say, but they haven't been adverse to just letting the other team have Leona to pick it away and then pick Thresh.
Now, Hyla-Sang is a good Leona, but we know Yero is a fantastic Thresh.
Yeah.
So, he may be saying, I know how good Hyla-Sang is on Leona, I can play Thresh, and I do well against Leona in lane.
I mean, Unicorns are in a tough spot here. I think they're kind of tossing up a few ideas between, do you pick the Leona here, do you pick LeBlanc, do you pick Shyvana? I don't think Mayhem did all that well against as LeBlanc last game, and a lot of it was down to the warding around mid lane, how just never could Mayhem get out of lane to roam.
Yeah, and when he did roam, made that mistake in the top lane, got isolated against the Kha'Zix and went down. So not the best play there. Actually, LeBlanc being first picked this time over to the side of Unicorn's Love, and I'll be looking forward to seeing Zodiac on LeBlanc again because he was incredible last time.
Yeah, last time we saw Zodiac on LeBlanc, Unicorns of Love basically described it as carries went pop.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Anyway, there are going to be some tough picks coming out for the side of FM eSports right now. They need to be really careful about what they decide to pick up here.
I feel like here it has to be Shyvana Leona or Rise Leona. I feel like they need some picks that strong that Unicorns don't mind if they don't get Leona, but if they get Leona, they'll be incredibly happy here.
They're going to take away Lucian and Akalord, maybe going over onto the Xin Zhao.
I mean, they're strong picks, they're consistent picks. I just don't think they're taking away much that Unicorns really want. Although, you know, we've talked about that Thresh into Leona lane where Thresh is going to be able to flay Leona. So Unicorns don't look as one-dimensional as they were looking on yesterday, when really without that Leona they were kind of floundering against Rain.
Yeah, I think that's because they were picking up the Thresh every game, and I'm not sure Hyla-Sang was in the best frame of mind to run with that. Looks like Zodiaz is hovering over a couple of jungle picks and Master of Sheepy here, possibly the Wukong, actually Varus and Thresh again being hovered over. Are they going to take Thresh over for Hyla-Sang? Now, he may be in a better frame of mind to play it today. We may see some flashy plays that we have seen previously. It looks like Wukong is going to be picked up, and Thresh being given over to Hyla-Sang, maybe because he realises that Yero will be able to beat his Leona with the Thresh.
Yeah, I think that he's just going to pick that preferential matchup there, and he puts Leona into a little bit of he puts Yero into a little bit of a tough spot here. That they were kind of anticipating that Unicorns would just pick the Leona anyway. So now Yero has to decide who he wants against Thresh. Doesn't have a Morgana available, so it's a bit of a tough spot to be in to decide what support you want, and they've got to try and figure out their game plan from here, because I must admit I wasn't particularly anticipating the Wukong here, but in response to the Xin Zhao, it's actually a good pickup.
Yeah, Wukong does have a good amount of early game damage despite his Nimbus strike being nerfed ever so slightly. And also, he has got the disruption that allows when Xin Zhao comes in to sort of isolate, he can use that disruption to knock Xin Zhao away before he even gets that 3-talon strike off, to saving his carries away there as well. And also he has the sort of the AoE damage that Xin Zhao also can provide with his Crescent Strike. Master of Sheepy has that in his Cyclone. It does like Yero is going to pick up the Leona, so picking that straight into a Thresh that's already been picked must be confident.
I think Rise is likely to be the lock-in here. Once Renekton's been picked up, we know that Ryze does okay against Renekton in the laning phase, can Rune Prison him away, and then has a superior late game to Renekton. So I almost feel like with those two picks, FM potentially have counterpicked themselves. Leona into Thresh isn't preferential, neither is Renekton into the possibility of Ryze being open here, but again, top lane right now, thankfully we're not in a situation where there are only two picks.
No,
thankfully, there are these open options, so at some point you do have to just pick blindly and just kind of be, we saw this
yesterday. Now, look, I wouldn't say that Renekton does as badly as Jax against Yorick. At least Renekton has a form of sustain.
Yeah.
And he can also... One empowered Q will completely wipe off 3 ghouls off the map if there are 3 ghouls available right there. And he has the Slice and Dice, which is a bit of a better gap closer than Jax's Leap Strike. You can get it from a little bit further away. Can also be slightly more unpredictable, as you know, you can go through minions to get onto someone, as well as having a more immediate stun. However, we just saw how strong Vizzy was. And is that a Fizz being locked in for Mayhem?
Fizz.
Using the Playful Trickster to dodge out the Sigil of Silence is a good idea, but I do feel like LeBlanc, over a period of time, will just be out Fizz in lane.
Yeah, she's more consistent in lane. Also, Fizz gets heavily bullied by any ranged mid lane champions in the early levels, which really is where those assassin lanes start to be decided, is those incredibly early levels where if you get harassed down and are forced back, you lose experience, you're pushed away from your ultimate, and if you're pushed away from your ultimate, you're losing that lane essentially, because the first kill is likely to come after that point. So LeBlanc's going to have somewhat of an advantage there, and once we get into the game, I'm actually going to check the runes. I won't quite do it yet, just until we're in the delay period, because I don't want the stream to maybe conflict with runes setups here. But interesting, another point, Vadag's picking Jinx.
Jinx is the first time we've seen...
Not only first time we've seen it, into Leona. Leona was already locked in, and typically Leona does incredibly well against Jinx. This is because the Thresh is there.
She has the safety.
An extra escape with that Dark Passage, but typically Jinx is a champion that struggles against Leona, because once you have burned Flash, you have 0 escape.
The best way I can think that she's going to play Jinx is Hylasang's going to play defensive with his Flay, stopping the Zenith Blade from connecting.
Yeah, right, I'm just going to check Zodiaz's runes. Okay, so he's not running what I was wondering whether he'd run, which was essentially hybrid pen reds.
Right, yes, so you get the auto attacks down onto Fizz.
Exactly. It's a standard, he calls this page standard AP, so that's what it is. So he's going for a very standard page, which is fine, it's to be expected, but essentially I was just wondering, because it's a tactic that a lot of people did against Fizz when you were playing a champion like Nidalee, where you get that extra damage in the very early game.
Now, Vardags is running full physical damage, no attack speed, and armor and magic resist, not opting to take new health runes that have become slightly more powerful when you run them in conjunction with armor runes. No attack speeders, which Reckles now favors over attack damage, and no lifesteal, as obviously that has been nerfed. If we look over to the side of Samwise, he's running exactly the same.
Okay,
oh no,
so
well no, I'm still on Vardags apparently.
There we go. Okay, so Samwise is running physical damage, some armor, some health, and magic resist. So that's
so he's gone for the hybrid yellows, which a lot of people have opted to pick up now, as it is more powerful because it gives you greater effective health, is what they call it.
Right.
No attack speed picked up for either AD carry, so they're not opting to go for the new buffed attack speed runes. I want to have a look what Tundra is going to be running against Yorick in that top lane. I imagine he'll run a lot of armor. So he's running 5% cooldown reduction, which is odd. 1 crit chance with 14 physical damage. Health at level 18, armor and magic resist on low values. So he's going for scaling health in that top lane, looking to try and build himself into a late game tank.
And crucially, he's got plus 1% crit chance. So, you know.
So maybe that one lucky crit.
You need, if you get that crit level 1, it's like, I won lane.
And let's see what Vizzy is going to be running. A very standard 15 AD, armor and magic resist. Everyone on the side of Unicorns love going for very standard builds here. Let's have a look what Mayhem's going to be running in that mid lane. He's gone for hybrid pens. Health at level 18, a full 216 of it. Ability power and flat magic resist, as you would expect versus a LeBlanc. Now that's interesting that he's running for 216 health at level 18. He's going to really struggle early on versus LeBlanc. But then coming into that late game, we'll have the equivalent of about a ruby crystal from his runes, which may not seem like a lot, but 216 health, as we can see, can save your life.
Yes, that is a very good point, and you know, we'll see how that goes as the game goes on. I'm wondering whether he's giving away a little bit of the early game there, and I think in that respect he's somewhat lucky that there aren't hybrid pen runes on LeBlanc, and you know, it's not something that's all that typical. It's just something that typically was played against Fizz quite a lot, just because of the way that Fizz is, you know, health and armor values in the early game. Just you can kind of shred through them a little bit with those ranged minions, because he struggles already. So we are into the loading screen here for game number 2 between these two teams. Oh, we're actually going to see the new Fizz skin. I love this skin, Void Fizz.
I'm not a big fan. I just feel like it's a bit of a dodgy recolor when I look at it. I feel like he's a bit too purple. He's kind of a bit of a. I feel like he's a bit of a blob, but then I don't know. I do like the splash art, however. The splash art's cool.
The splash art, and I like the ultimate.
The ultimate is very cool. I'll have to give it. I do like the particle effects in general. I just don't like the model color.
Okay.
I don't feel like I could see enough detail in it. I like the detailed Fizz previously.
I've always felt that about Zac and special weapons.
But what can you do with a blob?
Yeah, exactly. I've always felt that like the only Zac skin, just because of the model shape that I would buy, would be like Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, I'd also buy like Atlantean Zac.
Oh, okay.
So have you seen the new Atlantean Syndra skin?
Yes, yeah.
Looks amazing.
It does.
I'd love to see an Atlantean Zac, because obviously his model is akin to maybe moving water. You know, that'd be quite cool.
Okay.
We do see Blood Fury Renekton. I do like that skin actually. That's not the new one, is it? Is that the new Renekton skin?
I always want to call it Savage Earth, but it's Scorched Earth.
Scorched Earth. I love the Scorched Earth Renekton as well. Actually, Renekton has a good array of brilliant skins. Anyway, into this game, we are going to see Renekton heading up the top lane, so this may be a very standard lane matchup, and I would imagine this is exactly what Unicorns at Love want. They kind of want to keep Yorick up against that Renekton. However, they are all moving as 5s, as we saw previously. Is there going to be a first blood for FM eSports?
That's a pretty big question. I mean,
Rain did a really good job yesterday of forcing level 1 fights and coming out on top.
They really did, and we've seen typically red side just invade down towards the blue buff, and it's something that teams have commonly said is starting on red side you're at a little bit of a disadvantage when beginning, because you kind of have to invade or you will just kind of lose red. That's typically what happens. So we see a lot of this rotation with one team coming up to the top tri-bush, one heading in towards the blue buff.
A lot of people now say that with the trinket changes, you have to invade or you will be invaded. So it looks like they're seeing a mirror matchup of where FM eSports are going from where Unicorns of Love went last game. So they got that ward down. No flashes burnt this time around, and they are going to sit in that brush. Does look like red buff is being invaded by Unicorns of Love, and wow, Akiwise and Mayhem have to be really careful here.
Oh no, they're not coming all the way back, are they? Oh dear. Oh no, Aki.
No, Aki Lord, no. And he is going to go straight down there. The flame comes down. First blood goes over to the Blanc. That's going to be terrible for Mayhem in that mid lane.
That was a little anticlimactic, I'm going to admit.
He kind of just walked to his death.
He just walked into a flay, got flayed backwards and died. I was expecting the hook there, but that's a crucial kill there for Unicorns of Love. They secure that early game lead.
And it's a kill secured for...
LeBlanc got it as well.
Yeah, for Unicorns of Love, but it means that Hylasang didn't need to start Death Sentence.
Yeah.
He can start flay and get the auto attack damage off in lane. It does look like there is going to be a lane swap possibly though. Tundra is now going to take away this blue buff with Samwise and Yero, and I'm guessing Tundra will teleport straight down to that bot lane.
Mayhem went aggressive level 1 and ignited Zodiaz right away. That's not going to help him at this point, because he's forced now to chug through potions. It got a little bit of damage down onto Zodiaz.
Oh, he dodged that distortion with a good one. Here comes the ignite coming out from Mayhem. Looks like Master of Sheepy can get the damage off, and Zodiac picks up the kill.
He's using Playful Trickster too early, but top lane, this lane swap is 3v1.
Oh my word, there's Tundra.
Tundra is in the lane as well. Visage actually dropping very low from this. This is a good way of pressuring Yorick, and you know, kills across the board. This is a quick start to the game here. And mid lane, they're sticking around. This is just all over the place so far.
Yeah, not sure what's going to happen right now. It's a 3-man push with Tundra, Samwise and Yero in that top lane. They're all going to push onto this top lane turret, leaving Jinx to do what she does best, stacking that attack speed buff on the tower. That bot lane tower is not going to survive for long, and Yorick will be back in the lane soon.
So what happened in that middle lane was Mayhem ran into lane, Playful Trickster ignited Zodiaz, and then did nothing and got harassed by the auto attacks on the way back out. And you can't do that as Fizz because the early playful trickster levels have such a high cooldown and such a high mana
cost.
It's
a 4-man push in this top lane. They're pulling out some serious next level LCS tactics that we've been seeing over this few last week for the top laner and the jungler and the bot lane all sticking in this one lane, but it is giving Jinx free farm, and that top lane tower is going to go down at roughly the same time as bot lane tower is notoriously easier to take because of no auto attack barrier that the bot lanes, the top lane turrets have instead. So, what are we going to see here? Are they going to go straight for this second tower? Yeah, they are.
Unicorns of Love have brought Thresh back, but I don't know whether they've got enough to hold this wave if FM decided to continue pushing it. FM readjusts, and it looks like it's going to be the first tower going down only, and Jinx is going to get some good damage on this bottom tower once she shoves that up. No one's going to be there in time to prevent her from getting a quarter to a half health if she were to choose to play a little bit risky here.
Tundra could TP straight to that turret if he wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to though. He's going to head up to that top lane. They're actually going to let Jinx get the free damage, although she only has that Doran's blade, so she's not going to be doing too much in terms of damage straight away, and I think that minion wave will fall off before she manages to get the tower down. It looks like Samwise is going to turn up with that blue buff. Does have that blue buff available. Is level 3 also on top of that. I'm going to give it to Samwise. He's done well to be only 7 CS behind despite having 4 people in the lane that he was farming.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty close level to be at right there, and Tundra gets hooked.
Tundra gets hooked, but I'm not sure anything's going to come of it. He does have that slice and dice available. Mayhem, Akiwise and Tundra all in this mid lane. Tundra not actually having his own time to farm right now, so he is falling behind on CS on the Yorick. Probably not the best decision for him, so he's going to reiterate himself and head up towards that top lane. Don't know what reiterate himself. He's now heading towards that top lane.
He just wants to make his point again and again. That's alright. He's going to go and farm now, but he's going to struggle against the Yorick. I mean, if there's one champion that's going to be able to bully out a Renekton, it's going to be a Yorick for the most part in these early levels. Once Renekton gets the first items, he's going to be okay. Important level is Mayhem's hit level 4. This is where Fizz will go aggressive because he has that second point in Playful Trickster, and you can see that extra 50 damage down onto Zodiaz is actually put him quite low here. Forced out potions.
Yeah, I want to talk about his level 1 technique again. Like I said, most Fizzes, if they want to go aggressive level 1, will take their Sea Stone Trident because of the percentage health base damage and the auto attack bonus it gives you, and then just throw an ignite down. So yeah, like you said, Tundra having a hard time in that top lane right now, but Fizz, despite his early blunder, not doing too badly.
Yeah, he kind of has steadied the ship a little bit, but a LeBlanc with a needlessly large rod at 6 minutes is that's difficult to deal with here. He's skipped out that 3 Doran tricks we saw yesterday to go, okay, this is a great time to spike my ability back.
Fizz has no AP on his side either, having only got that crystalline flask, and he's sitting on roughly 900 gold, so there's a long way off catching up this kind of gold lead that LeBlanc has on him. And once she hits level 6, all he's going to have is that playful trick to just kind of stop himself from getting bursted down.
Yeah, and Fizz is low on mana, and even though he's a quarter of a level away from level 6, he's forced to back because he knows once Zodiaz returns to lane, 2 kills plus nearly 40 CS is a lot of gold that will have been gone straight into items, and he can't fight that without the mana and flash available to Playful Tricks to flash out. Because LeBlanc can cover too much distance after level 6 for Fizz really to do too much about it.
Yeah, and he's 20 CS behind as well, so really struggling in that mid lane. LeBlanc, once she hits level 6, which she is now, will look to probably go very aggressive on the Fizz. He's going to have to hit level 6 before anything can happen too much. They're going to rotate round for this blue buff, though. LeBlanc is already in position. There is a pink ward on the side of Akiwise, but he is level 4, so he's going to have to be really careful. There's the ward coming out from LeBlanc, and the entire rotation round from Unicorns of Love is very good.
Yeah, Unicorns just covering this gap here so that Mayhem can't get in on this fight, or potential fight in the lower side jungle, but this is just a tricky spot for FM to be in. They've given the most dangerous player on Unicorns of Love 2 kills this early on into the game. Death sentence.
Samwise going to get hooked by the death sentence. There's a couple of auto attacks coming out. There's Leona and Akiwise. They're going to go straight onto Halasang. He's going to go down to Yero. Yero picking up the kill there. Is going to follow up onto Vardags. I don't think he has the cooldowns available. That is a free kill really for a little bit of an engage coming out from the side of Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, and they got 2 flashes as well. Both Halasang and Vardags flashed away from that. So that's a really nice rotation out by Akilord to get that gank in the bottom lane. really nice timing anticipating the hook, and a little unfortunate for Unicorns of Love, but now it's going to allow FM a chance to come back into this game because they're now going to shove onto this tower. I don't know how much damage they can do with Jinx still there because the rest of the team are getting a little bit occupied side of the map, because you can see Akilord wants to rotate up and defend his red, but he really can't right now.
Doesn't have the mana or the damage right now to rotate enough and sort of protect his red. There wasn't a level 6 on the side of Tundra either, whereas Yorick was level 6, so Tundra could not pop his ultimate. And I think if Fizz did move to position himself and try and defend, he would get picked off by the LeBlanc fairly easily. Yeah,
LeBlanc is just going to follow him around the map if ever he tries to roam, and she'll get there faster, she'll get more damage down, and from there she'll snowball the kills that she already has. Let's take a look at the CS and gold on them for a second, because LeBlanc is already back up to 1,000 gold. And has only very recently gone and bought that needlessly large rod, so that's going to become a death by a grasp pretty quickly.
Yeah, she just needs about 600 gold, and then she'll be sitting on top of that death by a grasp. That'll be a dead Fizz as soon as that does come into play. Fizz has only got 700 gold also, so right now LeBlanc doing a great job of just completely destroying the mid lane. It looks like Yero has noticed. He's going to head over to try and get a bit of a kill on Zenith. He's going to go aggressive. Mayhem's going to get the ultimate down onto LeBlanc, a great stun, and then follow up from Zenith Blade, but the distortion jukes. They're still chasing the clone. The doubles distortion comes out, and Zodiaz is going to escape with his life. Great play, using the clone there just to trick him out.
Yeah, even on this was a little bit behind. I got a little confused following the clone, but nevertheless, they got out of there with LeBlanc now.
Zodiaz is not resting on his laurels. He goes straight onto Tundra. He's popped his ultimate now. Vizzy is going to have to follow him up. Tundra knows that LeBlanc is following him down. She's not that healthy right now, so Tundra could look to make a play, but he's just going to escape with his life. Looks like Death Sentence lands onto Aki in the mid lane. He's going to have to head back towards that mid lane turret. The rotation is coming around from Jinx, and Thresh is already there, so they may get this turret anyway. That's a good rotation from FM. I really like that.
Yeah, knowing they'd shoved Zodiaz out, Zodiaz going to the top lane actually kind of wasted a bit of time there. He didn't get the gank because they didn't anticipate the minions in lane, which, to be honest, is pretty easy to read because you just look at the position of the open, because if you're not, if you're going to another lane, because it will obviously mirror that.
Yero getting caught out, he jumps straight onto Vardex. Vardex does not have the escape. Incoming ultimate, he's going to have to come down. There's the teleport from Yorick, he's level 7, doesn't have his ultimate right now. Mayhem picks up the kill onto Vardex. There's Zodiacs in the backline. He has the distortion away from Samwise. Cyclone comes out from Master of Chief. He doesn't get the damage that he needs. Vizzy is going to go down, but his ultimate is available. Zodiac is in the backline, not really doing much with his time right now. Vizzy picks up the kill with his ghoul, but the great Fizz ultimate onto the distortion from Zodiac is going to spell his death, really, and that's going to be a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of FM, and that is Yero on Leona.
Oh man, Akilord got away from that on so little health, and that gives 3 kills there over to Samwise from the duration. The ultimate is going to cross through. Is this going to hit on the fountain? No, not going to hit anybody. A little mistimed, little off angle as well, but that would have been an impressive kill. But Unicorns of Love, I don't think they've really got that synergy in their team composition right now to take these early game fights, whereas FM have just got a good mix of crowd control and damage.
And like you said, Jinx really struggles against Leona. She did not have the opportunity to take that dark passage. Yero locked her up straight away with a solar flare from the Zenith Blade and Dark Shield of Daybreak, so that was an incredible play. And now they're going to rotate back round to Dragon. Not many ultimates off cooldown for the side of FM, only the Culling and the Dominus from Renekton, but they're going to go for this anyway.
Yeah, they are going to go for this. They, I believe, have the time here.
And the Wriggles. The Wriggles is there for Akiwise right now, so his objective control is going to be really good. And that's a 3k almost gold advantage pushed in favour of FM, taking this early game. And I've got to give it over. I think it's really partly due to the Jinx pick not having the strength that the previous Lucian pick for Unicorns of Love had as well.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. And to be honest, I feel like even though Unicorns started so well, their lanes just aren't really going in the favour of Unicorns of Love. Let's take a quick look at the gold shared by Tigers. Hook in the middle lane.
Hook in the middle lane. Looks like he's going to go down pretty hard. He has got the Dominus available at the last minute. Tundra escapes the Dominus. Great timing on that, but that is going to be him forced away from that mid lane turret. Samwise is backing off too. Doesn't have that culling available. Oh, wow. He does block out the ultimate coming in from Jinx. I think Samwise knew exactly where he was standing right there, just providing the protection that Tundra needed. He's going to stick around in this mid lane, although there's a lot of ultimates down on the side of Unicorns of Love. Cyclone, however, is still available. Looks like he's going to teleport straight back in, though. The ultimate coming in from Yero doesn't manage to stun up anyone. Alisang forces the flash. Zodiac slays Mayhem. The Yukos can get taken down at the same time. Busy is tanking the turret, but his ghoul is doing a lot of work at the same time. Master of Sheepy being brought back to life there, and again, this is turned around in favour of FM eSports for a 2-for-1, but they don't pick the turret off the back of it.
Yeah, Unicorns of Love here securing a little bit of control from that team fight here as they've got 4 members remaining, and that mid turret is very low on health. All of the ultimates aren't yet available for FM. The culling is still about 5 to 10 seconds away, so it's not there to burn down the wave. And Unicorns of Love will establish some sense of a regain of gold from that, but Zodiaz is playing a little bit aggressive there, but that was a really nice cyclone into Distortion there in their team fight. Landed a lot of damage, and from there they kind of cleaned up around the side, but I feel they need to get some kills onto Jinx at this point to really get her gold flowing. Bloodthirsters were completed on the AD carries at the same time, however, even though Samwise is considerably further ahead, so Samwise, however, is quite a way towards his phage at the same time. So it's one of those cases that it was just the back timings there between the AD carries really just didn't settle in favour of FM.
The problem was there, Mayhem was bursting so quickly, he couldn't get Churn the Waters down. So he couldn't even pop his ultimate, and that's just the power of Fizz. Look, the Death Sentence does land onto Mayhem, but that was just a precautionary Death Sentence. Nothing else coming out. Mayhem needs to stay back in the team fights. And also, Yero didn't manage to stun anyone with his ultimate, so he only got the slows down, so there was no incapacitation from him there either. So that was just a bit of a... we'd call it a game of millimeters. If he'd been slightly towards the side and managed to get a stun with a solar flare, may have gone slightly different. Also, the focus onto Hylasang and not getting the kill meant that a lot of stuff was wasted to try and take out the support, who actually survived with the flash.
There's an interesting thing Yaro's done here, which is he's forgone his Sightstone as of yet to rush towards Talisman of Ascension. He's used it in the middle lane. They won't catch on towards Master of Sheepy, but to be honest, I'm not sure whether I like this, because he had the Targon's Grace, then sold it after stacking it a little. And what this does is it delays the sweepers on his team, so it costs them extra money to buy pink wards.
And there's 3 sweepers on the side of Unicorns and Love.
Yeah,
they're going to start taking that map control.
This pink ward was just placed and has just died. It lasted less than 30 seconds there for
Yeah, so like I said, the map control is going to be in favour of Unicorns and Love right now. You can see that with 2 wards really becoming key parts to the map. The Zeka LeBlanc is going to get picked up by a pink ward. I don't think she ran through the brush, so isn't going to waste any time in sitting there. They want to go up to that top lane. Zodiaz's doing a great job of rotation. Mayhem is coming up too. He has got a level on Zodiaz right now, so he needs to be careful and not getting burnt down by that Fizz, who's almost finished that Lich Bane.
And even though some of the turrets have gone down on both teams, we've kind of returned to almost an extended laning phase. We're not seeing a rotation phase because Dragon isn't available up in 1 minute 30, so that's really when we're going to start seeing the teams move again. But really, Renekton, Tundra just wants to try and farm out a little bit. Visitachi just wants to stop him the entire time. The same with the bottom lane is they don't want to be rotating, even though they, to be honest, should be looking to rotate for towers here. They don't want to be, they just want to sit and farm because FM don't want to gamble away their lead with another team fight that would go against them.
Yeah, they've got a 1k gold advantage right now, although I guess does mean they have a slight advantage. You know, like I said earlier, it's like a giant belt across the team in terms of power, so not that much, but a little bit. Could prove the difference in a team fight. Tundra, though, getting taken pretty low, has already finished off that Sunfire Cape up against the Yorik's Mana Mune and his Giant Spell. Now, Yorick with that Mana Mune will be doing a little bit of damage, as well as with having 3 ghouls up to deceptively doing a lot of damage. In that bot lane, however, that turret and the bot lane is still quite healthy, and Samwise and Yero having trouble pushing that one down.
It's all about the time up in 30 seconds. It's going to be, I would imagine both teams They're just going to go completely towards that dragon. Ultimates are going to be available soon again, as Zodiaz has a very small cooldown on that. Samwise, I believe, is the only one that won't be available unless this dragon is stalled out a little bit here. So, you know, I just feel like Unicorns don't quite have as good a team fight here as FM eSports. So FM are a little bit more willing to take that fight.
Oh, the flash, and the flash coming out from Zodiaz right there to our ultimate miss. That's not ultimate's going to mean it's not going to be up for the dragon fight. It's currently on a 97-second cooldown, 1 minute and 30 seconds until that Chum the Waters is available. Now we do need to point out that Zodiaz hasn't got a lot of mana. He's going to get distorted on, but he's going to get taken down because his flash was just used. Cyclone came out to try and keep him alive, but there is the Talisman of Ascension. Does get the Dark Passage out, however, and he's going to survive. But this is probably going to be Dragon going over to FN Esports, and that was Zodiaz just being a little bit out of position.
When the Chum the Waters didn't hit, I thought, oh, that gives away everything that FM had there for that Dragon attempt, but to be honest, picking off Zodiaz is a big part of this. Hook lands onto Yarrow, but they don't want any of that strong FM lineup right now. So FM secure the Dragon. That will extend their lead once again. They can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief, and now they're going to rotate out towards that bottom lane tower, and that would be another good pickup for them here.
Yeah, another chunk of global gold on the back of that Dragon means they're going to secure their gold advantage, probably into the 4K margin, which will be moderately significant at about 20 minutes. I'm really liking the way FM are playing this game. I've got to give it props to Yarrow. He's setting up most of these kills.
Yeah,
in fact, he's got a 95% kill participation.
Yeah, he's been involved in all but one kill. So he's got a good kill participation, but at the same time, every kill he's been involved with, Samwise has been involved with. So it's one of those things that duo lane is working really well in this game. As what we said, the FM duo bot lane is a pretty formidable bot lane here at I-51.
Tundra and Vizzy just hitting each other on the head a little bit there. Vizzy coming out with the serious amount of sustain that he has. Obviously, Yorick is the king of sustain in that top lane. Interesting to see what the rework that Riot are thinking about, because it's not like he's too much. So yeah. I don't know why he's been keyed up for a rework there. There's a lot of champions that Riot don't feel quite fit into their game plan of what they thought about. I guess Yorick's kit could be considered to be a little bit boring, not fun to play. That seems to be the key for most of Riot's reworks there.
I think that seems to be the key with Yorick, is he's not fun to play. He's not fun to play against. I mean, he's fun to play if you've got this sadistic, no one's ever going to win lane against kind of mentality.
Looks like Yorick is going to get onto Tundra. Tundra pops the ultimate early. The Sigil of Silence not managing to stop Tundra from getting away. Both Ethereal Chains missing there, not getting the stun up onto him, and while in the meantime Mayhem is going to take his blue buff away.
Blue buff going over to Fizz. Crucial to get the cooldown reduction for that playful trickster. The more often you can have that, the better it is. Also, we talked about how mana intensive it was. I remember, I think it was Scara actually I was talking to about Fizz. He said, man, I hate playing Fizz because you E once and you're out of mana. However, bottom lane, FM might be in trouble. There's a teleport coming down to the top.
Where are Unicorns of Love right now? What is this positioning from them? The flash comes out from Halasang. Bardags is going to try and get onto him. Halasang is probably going to go down. I think they're going to give away Bardags right there. And Akiwise picks up the kill onto Halasang. Don't know what Unicorns of Love were thinking there, but a great teleport from Tundra. Does mean he may sacrifice the top lane turret though.
Yeah, I really don't know what the Unicorns were attending there. I don't know whether they just didn't see the bottom lane getting collapsed upon, or whether FM managed to sneak through a jungle path that didn't have wards. But I mean, FM are now going to just stack in that middle lane as 5, and they're going to push faster than Yorick will push. Flash comes forward.
Flash comes forward. They don't manage to get the ultimate onto anyone. Yarrow actually missing most of his abilities right there. A Flame Chompers are going to stop him, but not stopping Tundra, who goes straight onto Vardags. Vardags is going to go down to the red buff. Samwise is on the rampage. Zodiaz is going to get picked off. He does have that distortion, but a great Zenith Blade comes out from Yarrow. He's going to pick him up. No clone juking this time, and a double kill onto Samwise. Samwise is scary, 5-0-5.
Yeah, Samwise is having a brilliant game here. That is pretty much going to allow him to finish off his Trinity Force here, and they will likely get it.
Highlight Sand comes down. There's the Cyclone going to hit onto Tundra. Tundra doesn't have his ultimate available. There's the Culling and the Chum the Waters. Vizzy's going to take a lot of damage, but Yarrow's in the wrong position right now. The exhaust comes down to him. They're going to want to finish him off. Vizzy is going to get taken down in the meantime, though. Master Ashiki goes in. He's going to go down too. Samwise with another double kill. There's the ultimate from Vizzy trying to do the damage in the back lines, but their Mayhem picks at the turret in the meantime. Hylasang the only one left alive.
Oh, Hylasang didn't quite get that hook there, but 3 members of FM eSports flashing up red here, and I mean, FM just picked up a good set of kills there. I think there was a delayed ace overall when you look at it. And just 5 kills during that period of play, and Samwise picking up 4 of them by the looks of it.
And for a 6k gold advantage, went from 2k to 6k just immediately.
And that's a crazy jump here. And what that's going to translate to is more objectives that FM eSports are willing to pressure out, because Zodiaz started this game 2-0 with some very quick kills, got the needlessly large rod very early on, but never really got the opportunity to use that. It's just, he's picked up 1 further kill and then has died 3 times.
I think the key to beating Unicorns of Love, and I think it's something that FM have figured out, they go on to Vizzy, but he's going to get the 3 talent strike down. The Dark Passage has not come out. The ultimate coming down onto Master of Sheepy, blocking him up. Chum the Waters straight onto Vizzy. Aqualord is going to jump straight onto Vizzy, although Zodiacs gets killed out in the last minute. The burst coming out from LeBlanc is still very scary. Vardags gets the kill onto Akiwise with the rockets coming out there. Samwise gets hit by Zap. The ethereal chains comes down. I think a fail flash happened there too from the LeBlanc, and then Samwise will escape with his life. That was a little bit too deep, I feel, from FM eSports there.
Yeah, Samwise forced a flash there as well, so a flash for flash, but you know, Zodiaz was a little bit more.
Yero's going to get caught out by the ethereal chains. 2 chains comes out. The box comes down to Yero, very low right now, but there's Tundra in the backline. They're going to go straight onto Vardags. Going to go down immediately. Tundra doing great to position in the position that he did. Vizzy's already back up though. The teleport comes down. Samwise is in the wrong position. There comes out the Randuins. Zodiacs is in the backline, but a double kill for Tundra. Look at him going. He's going to get the stun onto LeBlanc. She's not going to get away. The distortion may come back there. She's going to get killed by minions, and I think a great positioning from Tundra to force her to go back. And the Dark Passage comes out. Tundra's going to have Slice and Dice available in a minute, but the double distortion means that she's going to get away. Vizzy has possibly sacrificed his own life though. Is Chum the Waters going to come out to try and stop them? I don't know, though. There is Akiwise running up the backside there. Vizzy looks like he's trying to bait them into his team. Master of Sheepies is on the backline. Is the Cyclone going to come out? Only going to hit onto Aqualord, though, hitting on everyone in the end. Master of Sheepy uses the clone to try and juke his way out, and that is going to be Chum the Waters, but no one going to follow that up.
Really extended fight there for FM. I actually kind of feel like right up until the end, Unicorns of Love were coming out heavily ahead in that fight, but Tundra pretty much just survived that entire fight. Banshee's Veil and Sunfire Cape really doing work.
And that's not a bad trade right now for that fight for Dragon, to be honest. That's just going to be FM further extending their gold lead back to around 5k.
Yeah, that Dragon does go down in favor of FM, and that, as you said, is going to kind of offset everything that Unicorns of Love picked up in that fight. Although that does allow Unicorns of Love to pick up a few more items and finish off a few important items like the Void Staff that was finished alongside the Negatron Cloak there for Zodiaz. Zodiaz has actually gone up to 6 kills now, so just as we said he was struggling a little bit, he finally found the kills that he's needed.
And despite all the globals in favour of that mid lane, he's still 800 gold ahead.
Yeah, I wonder here if Samwise, although his kills the fight.
Yero, that was a bit of a bad ultimate, hitting onto nobody, not even getting the slow. Vizzy is going to try and force his way forward. The distortion comes out for the wave clear. That solar flare is not going to be available for another 48 seconds, so they need to be careful in this next engage. This turret could go down if they play it wrong. Yero takes a zap to the face. The amount of damage that's doing at the moment is obscene. The Culling comes out to clear the wave. Yero has got his Zodiac onto Zodiac. The chain comes out, not going to hit onto anyone. The double distortion not really doing much of use. Master of Sheepy, the target here, he hasn't got flash available. Chum the Waters juked out by him, and the Zenith Blade goes straight through Master of Sheepy. In the meanwhile, the Vizzy is going to get focused down by the 3 talent strike. Samwise is in the backline, does dash into the middle there. Tundra going to pick up the kill though. The ultimate from Jinx has been used, and that's not going to pick up anybody else. Vizzy has got the ultimate down. Vardags is going to get focused down by the Zenith Blade, but the chain is out for Viero. He's going to go down to Vardags with a 1 rocket. Mayhem in the wrong side of the fight right now, but look at Samwise in the backline. No one has been able to focus him, and that's going to be a 3-for-1 trade, and I think FM will take that all day.
And that's why Unicorns of Love didn't have anything in that fight, because Zodiaz the entire fight was looking to get to Samwise and destroy him instantly.
Oh, but Hylatang's going to jump over the side. The teleport coming out from Tundra, that was a great teleport. Slice and Dice coming down, but there's the flash. Hylatang gets the flay down, so a bit of a waste of a teleport actually in the end, but look at Samwise, he really wants to get this. The LeBlanc doesn't have the burst to deal with Samwise. Samwise is going to get a double kill. Master Sheep is going to pick it up as the death sentence did last. did land even, so even if Thresh dies while their sentence is there, he will still stun you for a couple of seconds.
It's important to pick that kill up, but it was the point I was going to make, that Samwise is so many of the kills here for FM, and crucially he's finished a Banshee's.
Well, look, we just need to pick up the item difference between Samwise and Vardag's. Vardag's focusing on his last Whisper. Samwise finished it and already having his defensive item in place and sitting on around, well, 30 gold. So
he just picked up the finished Last Whisper and the Banshee's Veil as well.
Yeah.
And that's a crucially important item when playing against a LeBlanc.
And Yorick, to be honest.
LeBlanc has been looking to destroy Samwise in that fight. The entire fight, Zodiaz was waiting and trying to get the angle, but Samwise was just too far away and landing too much damage to the rest of Unicorns of Love that FM just came out ahead. And if Zodiaz can't take Samwise out of the fight, no one can, because the rest of the team is having to deal with Tundra as he dives into their own backline. That's 2 Banshee's Veils now on the side of FM eSports, and that's pretty much way earlier than Unicorns would really like them to, because now Zodiaz is almost ineffective in this team fight.
I would say so too. He has picked up the Void Staff, but it does mean that the burst for LeBlanc without the Ravenous will be pretty poor. I do have to point out something that I think Unicorns are going to be kicking themselves for. They had the Leona available, they're going to go on to Vizzy. She's going to get locked down by the stun from Yero. That was a good solar flare right there. Vizzy is possibly going to go escape, but no. Chum the Waters and the culling used just to make sure he doesn't. Actually, culling finishing off in there, and Vizzy used his ultimate too. I do want to pick up, they had Leona available for Hylasang, like you said in Champion Select, and Yero on Leona has been the driving force behind most of these engages. Unicorns of Love really need to sit down and think, who are we going to prioritise our picks for if it does go to this next game, which at the moment it looks like it is going to go in favour of FM.
Yeah, it's no surprise that 14 assists on a Leona and 13 kills on Lucian are connected, and you can see Zodiaz has to dart in, try and get the Banshee's Veil down from Tundra, and then get back out of there. And if he continues to do that, that's actually not the most safe play to put yourself forward with that distortion to try and pop the Banshees, because we've already seen Samwise damage. As of yet, LeBlanc with no armor items either means she's going to die incredibly quickly to Samwise.
Yeah, and Fizz does juke out of a sentence from the brush. He did see it coming because of the ward. Yero taking a lot of zaps to the face, but it looks like a double distortion coming out from Zodiaz. That means his Mimic's not going to be available if they choose to engage, but Samwise isn't in position, and neither is Zakilord. They're going to push down the middle. There is a current 7k gold advantage in favour of Unicorns of Love, but that does not mean they are scared by any means. At the moment, they're going to push down this mid-lane turret. Tundra doing a bit of damage. There's Chum the Waters onto Hylasang. He doesn't have flash available to get himself out of there. He is going to get knocked away by the Crescent Strike. Master of Sheep using the Cyclone. Samwise slays him with the culling. Everyone on the side of Unicorns of Love really low. Aquawise jumps in, uses the Randwinds, but gets burst down by Zodiaz. There's Mayhem, picks off the clone, I believe, in the background. And so Vardag's going to get picked up. He has been ultimated by Yorick, but is going to go straight down. That's 10 seconds, but I think they'll just focus down this ghoul before Mayhem goes down. But no, Mayhem takes a rocket to the face. I think it crit, which means he was going to go down too. Not a bad trade for Unicorns of Love, 2 for 2. However, again, Samwise untouched.
Zodiaz just can't get into Samwise's any kind of his personal area here, because he just needs to get around Samwise while that Banshee is down, but he can't get there, and the Banshee's Veil is back up once again, so Zodiaz just has no option but to run. FM didn't get any global objectives from that yet. Dragon is up in 4 seconds, so it's an option, but we're going to see exactly where FM eSports are going to rotate to after that.
Yeah, I think Baron will be the next point of call, and they're going to take this Dragon away. I think Yorick does know it's happening, so Vizzy is moving straight in to that area. Again, this is something that we've seen FM eSports not do particularly well on, taking the Dragon without the backup of their jungler, but they will get it this way scot-free. So I think Baron will be the next point of call, because I don't think FM are far enough ahead to go for a turret dive, and with only a couple of outer turrets remaining and the lanes not pushing in their favour, it's not going to be easy for them to get to that point. Baiting a Baron and then fighting at that location would be their best idea. I don't think starting the Baron would be, though, although Unicorns of Love seem to have other ideas. Yeah,
Unicorns of Love are the team that are aggressively pushing towards this Baron area, and I feel like Unicorns of Love maybe think they're a little bit further behind than they actually are. I mean, when you look at the gold, 9,000 gold is a significant lead for sure, but when you see a 14-2 Lucian, you think, okay, this game's pretty much done.
Yeah, The one thing for FM eSports is that Samwise is their key factor. If he goes down early, I think most of the team fight will be in favour of Unicorns of Love. They've got a better spread. They've got Yorick with a couple of kills and things, but you do have to remember that Tundra's gone full tank here, so he's not going to be doing the same kind of damage that Yorick is. And although Fizz has got a couple of kills, he doesn't have the item spread that LeBlanc has, and she does look like she's working towards an Abyssal Scepter, so that's very interesting. However, FM are just opting to go up for this top lane turret. They haven't got a minion wave available, and no one opting to tank it out. Samwise taking a ghoul and a shot of tower to the face. Flame Choppers have been used. That's going to be down for another 10 seconds. Good look to engage onto Vardax if they wanted. This tower is going to take a bit of damage. Tundra are going to have to use Slice and Dice to get away from the Death Sentence, but that's going to be another turret going in favour of FM, and now they're going to rotate round.
Yeah, they're going to rotate out. Unicorns don't want to fight this unless they really have to and they can catch Samwise. They're looking for a money death sentence onto Samwise without a Banshee's Veil. Aculord's going to get the DFG used on him and gets popped down. But
so close. Tundra going to take a death sentence to the face too. And that's how powerful LeBlanc is. They need to really respect that. FM are ahead, but they still have a very bursty LeBlanc on the side of Unicorns of Love. But that is really the only champion that will be much of a threat.
He didn't get the kill though, so although it kind of relieves some of the pressure that FM had, it doesn't do all that much in the grand scheme of things other than delay FM. That's pretty much the only thing that it does. And Zodiac's got dropped low from it, so they're not able to really continue for any kind of fight. The Banshees are back up here for FM eSports, and it's only a matter of time before we see Aculord with the Banshee's Veil, and Fizz will end up picking one up. I kind of have to imagine it'll be the next item, because he's not exactly the big damage dealer here. He just needs to be a bit of an annoyance to detract.
Well, he's got that Zonya, so he can be the annoyance now. He can playful Trickster into the middle of the team to get the splash damage down, and Zonya straight away. I mean, he's got a 2-second period where he won't be focused down, and it will kind of distract Unicorns of Love for a little bit. I do want to pick up on the fact that Jinx opting not to go for a defensive item, now working straight towards her Infinity Edge, and Jinx will start to do more damage on her auto attacks than Lucian, just because of the way her Q works. She just gets that stacking, scaling attack speed buff. It means that she does get a lot of damage when she can put it out and gets constant attacks, as well as having the range increase on her splash damage Q, which can crit.
I'm just wondering how FM are going to play out the rest of this game. I mean, they are down a game, so they have to close this. They can't just say, okay, well, we'll just tire Unicorns of Love out a little bit here. And
it looks like they want to head down to get that last outer turret. There's a ward come down from Yarrow. Everyone is on that side of the map. Tundra is in the top lane with a teleport, so it looks like a very classic split push tactic coming out here. They've sent Yorick up to deal with Tundra. Tundra does not have the damage to 1v1 Yorick. He won't go down easily, but he won't be able to kill Yorick either. So again, this is going to be a very stalemating top lane. Everyone on the side of FM though, moving down towards that outer turret, opting, thinking, we don't want to pull a Dignitas here, we don't want to go for Baron and get caught out, but looks like Tundra is going to get caught out himself. Zodiaz is in that top lane. He hasn't got enough magic resist, I feel, to deal with Zodiaz. Forces the flash, the 2 chains come out, and unfortunately neither of them hit.
However, bottom lane push is on. Talisman of Ascension has been used. They want
the teleport's coming in. Tundra going to reciprocate with a teleport to the only surviving minion. This is a bit of a bad position because Aquawise is by himself right now. Poor positioning on the team fight. The ultimate comes out from Jinx, not doing much, actually hitting Tundra in the face. Vardax goes down. Vardax takes out Aquawise. The flay from Hylasang on the flash, not doing the job it should have done. In fact, Viz picking up the kill onto Vizzy in the top lane. In the meantime though, Master and Sheepy doing a good amount of damage. Samwise and Tundra, the only 2 remaining. This is going well in favour of Unicorns of Love right now. All they need is a double kill from Jinx there, the flash coming down, and again, I don't think that was the best point of call for FM.
Oh man, FM forcing the issue down into an inhibitor turret. They're one of the most difficult turrets to take for a reason, just because of the fighting area around the turret and how difficult it really is to push up onto that base. And you saw Aculord get completely caught out behind enemy lines after diving in, and from there just nobody was around to peel for the rest of the team. Yarrow got a lot of damage put down on him from Vardax, ended up falling, and Samwise from that had to fall back.
Everyone in Unicorns of Love are heading down towards that Baron area. They're pinging out the area that Samwise is currently sitting in, so he needs to be very careful. He doesn't have a ward available, actually using the Ardent Blaze to try and proc the Baron. Doesn't get the aggro that he needs. Looks like they're going to go and try and push this down immediately. Samwise, I don't think is going to be able to stop them right here. There isn't a Wukong, there is a Wukong in the area. He doesn't have the burn proc of Feral Flare. The culling coming out, but I don't think that's going to be enough to stop the Wukong Smite, and that's going to be a Baron and a chunk of global gold going in favour of Unicorns of Love. And again, FM, they should have gone for Baron earlier. They should have baited that out. But it does like Aki really wants to walk. Oh, well, I thought he was going to go for the engage.
It looked like they were going to, but Yero couldn't get in position for the Talisman of Ascension to catch on, and with Tundra still so far away without a teleport available, they really couldn't get into position. They're going to rotate out for a constellation prize of a dragon here, but that is by no means a close exchange, and Unicorns are starting to close the gap here. The effective gold that gives Unicorns really does start to tie this game up to a very close point. This late into the game, when you're talking only a few thousand effective gold difference, it's actually an incredibly close game.
Yeah, and looks like they are going to pick up the dragon, which is worth a similar amount of gold to Baron at this point in the game, so the global gold is going to go back in favour towards an 8k advantage in favour of FM eSports. Now, what can they do? They have the better, well, actually fairly good late game scaling composition here, so I think this is going to come down to a very much a skill matchup. Look, looks like Yero going to go straight onto Halisang, gets the ultimate out from Halisang, the box is down, he's going to go down straight away to Samwise. There's the Cyclone coming out. Vardex is unstoppable right now, they haven't done enough to shut him down, and a 1-for-1, but the jungler for the support gonna be saying that's going in favour of Unicorns.
Yeah, especially when they're on the back foot. To pick off an important member like the jungler, although there are no jungle objectives available here on the map with regards to Baron and Dragon, it's still an incredibly good pick off for them.
Jinx is so powerful right now because of her late game and how she's doing. They haven't done enough to shut her down, and I think they've been too tentative. FM have just been so tentative across the map, and although there's an item advantage on Lucian now, Samwise isn't going to scale as well as a auto-attack based champion like Jinx, especially with a self non-proc tower attack speed buff. They're going to take a free tower for that too. Looks like Zodiac is going to get a chain on. He's out of position right now, and there wasn't the Zenith blade to follow it up. They probably could have got a catch out there.
That was risky for Zodiac. I thought he was about to get caught out, and actually they gave the blue buff over to Vizichachi there, rather than to LeBlanc.
Well, that's going to be okay because he's got the Mura mana right now, so he's going to be getting auto attacks for days that are doing lots and lots of damage. And the late game composition from Unicorns of Love is, well, it's very even because Fizz does scale well, Lucian scales well, Renekton does scale better as a tank, but I would say Yorick scales even better than that. I do have to give over. If it was a straight 5v5 late game full item build, it would be Unicorns of Love that would win it.
Well, it really is dependent on the Banshee's Veils here. Yorick's pretty good at popping down a Banshee's Veil if you can get into range, but the fact that we're starting to see this point that Samwise hasn't died to Zodiac in the last 20 minutes after picking up that Banshee's Veil. The same with Renekton. Even though he's been taken fairly low in that 2v1 up in the top lane, he hasn't really fallen. And it's all because of that Banshee's Veil protecting against just about everything that Zodiaz is going to output, because Zodiaz needs a full combo to take down either member.
Yeah, and I do feel like Wukong is slightly more useful than Xin Zhao at this point, although Xin Zhao does have his Feral Flare. Not many stacks, only 3 at this point in the game, showing how slow Xin Zhao does farm and how much jungle is being taken away by the rest of his team, now sitting up to 4. If this game goes way to my later and Akala does get some farm, he will have the potential to outscale the Wukong in terms of damage, but right now Cyclone is a better AoE CC spell, and all they have is the Crescent Sweep, so they have to really time that Crescent Sweep with when Wukong does come to jump in.
Honestly, I feel like without a mistake, at this late into the game, Vardex with his items is just going to do so much work in team fights from so far back. And
Zodiac going to force the flash out of Yero with the 2 chains coming out. Well, actually the singular chain. Oh, Culling used defensively. This doesn't spell good for the confidence inside of FM eSports.
They just wanted to protect this tower. I mean, they don't want to give away any objectives to Unicorns of Love because you can feel the ground shifting in this game. Unicorns of Love are far more confident once again, and they're even pushed out while significantly behind on gold. And it's all down to just this positioning that Vardex from the back of the fight is able to output so much damage that Samwise can't replicate it because of the fact that Lucian is a shorter range carry.
Oh, the Flame Chopper's come out. It stops Yero from forcing the engage. There's Zap coming down. Tundra's going to take a bit of damage. Chum the Water's not hitting anybody, and that's going to be a bit of a mistake. Mayhem's going to get taken down straight away. Cyclone's come out, but look at the health of Unicorns of Love. Tundra in the middle there doing a lot of damage. There's Samwise in the backline. He's doing a lot of damage too. Not getting the auto attacks that he wants to off. Going to force Vizzy to go down too. Yero's going to go down. At the same time, it's a 3v3 right now. Samwise still available, but look at the burst coming out from Zodiaz, and Vardex has not been touched. Forces the Randuins out. Still 2 members available, but it's 2 carries versus 2 tanks. Zodiaz is going to go really hard onto Aquawise. Forces the ignite, but Aquawise I think is going to survive.
Akilord will survive through that, but Jinx is so good at tower pushing that mid lane tower goes down. They don't feel confident enough to push the inhibitor tower as well because the respawns have come out.
Oh,
The teleport to the bottom
coming
lane.
down to teleport. I don't think he's going to be able to push this though. It's only a Renekton with no AD.
He'll get the tower.
He'll get the tower, but he won't get the inhibitor. Zodiac's actually not going back. Maybe he's looking to pick off Akiwise. He does come in, gets the chain down. Look, a lot of damage, and wow. That was a complete burst, and Akiwise just caught with his pants down, I'd say.
It's a good thing that they got the bottom tower now because it gives FM an objective that's far more vulnerable, but the problem with that is they use the teleport now, so they don't have that as map control, and they used... well, they expended Akilord's life at the same time, and Baron is up in 1 minute. Akilord is back up in just under 40 seconds, so it might time out that Unicorns can really secure that Baron area just before Akilord can get over to the Baron pit.
Yeah, Samwise now is really the key here. He's sold his boots for Zephyr, so he's got the Mercury, the tenacity on that now. He doesn't have any more magic resist though. Maybe I would have thought a Mercurial Scimitar would have been the best option for him, just to keep himself protected against LeBlanc more. But again, Zephyr is pretty good. He wants the attack speed to keep up with the Jinx attack speed also. Jinx is now full build though. Now Mayhem needs to stop diving in like he did, and he hasn't hit many Chum the Waters this game, so he needs to be really on point with those. If he doesn't, I think the team fights are going to go all in favour of Unicorns of Love. Right now though, Akilord forced to stay in base. I think he may be waiting out something. Yeah, just waits out to purchase that Banshee's Veil. That's going to make him very much more, survive better in teamfights now. I can always go for a wrong grammatical form of English there. But anyway, Baron, the next objective.
The problem is for Fizz, he hasn't really got the items right now to just pop somebody in one. He relies a little bit more of a prolonged fight with so many members of Unicorns of Love who are now doing Baron. Actually, FM are going to try and get in on this.
Oh, the Flame Choppers are stopping them from getting there. Akiwise pops his back into the Flame Choppers. I don't know if this is going to be smited away. No, Blue Team gets the smite there. This is Baron on the favour, but look at the culling coming across, getting a lot of damage. Zodiaz is unstoppable right now. Baron has gone down already to Wukong. At the moment, though, it's very, very low on the side of Unicorns 11. Samwise is not getting focused down like he should be. The Valdaz is godlike. Yero is going to go down to the double kill there. No one focusing down Valdaz. That's Samwise going to be going down to the triple kill coming down. Probably the Quadra going on to Tundra. He tries to escape with the dice, but I feel like this is all going in favour of Unicorns of Love right now, and we called it. We said that FM eSports weren't aggressive enough, and they really haven't been.
There was one big mistake in that team fight. Mayhem got to the backline and focused down Zodiaz with the first playful Trickster, and then got silenced. And from there, had no further damage. He should have jumped onto Vardags at that point. They were stood next to each other, and all the damage was focused onto Zodiaz when Vardags was the one that was going to clean up the team.
Mayhem has not played to the best of his ability this game. Doesn't like they're just going to take the inhibitor out of this, but right now the gold is still in favour of FM. But you've got to say the late game comp from Unicorns of Love right now is just winning every team fight. Yeah,
it's just so strong right now, and Vardags now has a Banshee's Veil of his own, so that deters any hope of Fizz getting in there, because Fizz just doesn't have the damage once Playful Trickster is gone to really pick Vardags off here, and we don't see Fizz very often anymore, and especially with some of the changes that happened to Lichbane recently, and a few other little just changes around the mid lane meta. Fizz just struggles in comparison to a champion like LeBlanc, who's far more versatile, far more mobile, and actually looking at the kills and the AD carries in the last couple of minutes, the last 10 or so minutes, Vardags has got a very similar score now to how Samwise has been looking in this game.
Yeah, and Vardags sitting on a similar amount of gold too. He's only about 2k gold behind, but then when Samwise is on 21k and Jinx is on 19k, that's a very, very small difference, about 10% between the two of them. So he could go back and probably finish off something instead of his boots. He's opted to go for the Fury enchantment, so giving himself that attack speed, movement speed bonus on an attack. Looks like Dragon at this point in the game is going to go down to Unicorns of Love. It's actually very tanky. Master of Sheepy and Vivi's doing a lot of damage to it, taking a little while to take it down. Interesting to see that it gave them a ton of gold as well, forcing that gold grab even closer.
I'm a little bit concerned that Zodiaz and Hylasang are pushing up in the top lane on their own, and they're continuing to stay up there. It's risky positioning against someone like Tundra, who's very tanky, and especially with no mana.
Oh, the box comes down. No one going to follow it up, though. Halasang does get the death sentence and pulls him again into another wall of the box, but Tundra is just going to escape and say, okay, that's fine, you've got no one to follow it up.
I'm so glad that Unicorns of Love are backing out there, because that positioning was not good. Even though Vardax was around, the other two members of Unicorns of Love just nowhere to be seen, and that could have easily been a 4v3, and not even Vardax and Halasang would have been strong enough to do that, because Zodiaz was out of mana, and a LeBlanc with no mana is useless.
Yeah, very much so. Right now, though, Vardax is just doing 10 times more damage in team fights than Samwise's, and that's just the way that Jinx works into this late game. She has the range of basically a cog more, almost, like a Tristanas too, when she has that, when she's using her, I believe it's Pow Pow.
Yeah.
No, Fishbones even. When she's using Fishbones, you just can't get to her, and she's doing 900 to 1,000 per crit with Fishbones because it gives her 10% extra damage. That's a lot of damage.
That is a lot of damage. And, I don't know how you survive through that damage, because I mean, Unicorns of Love are even now to the point where their assassin has the defensive items, has the Zhonya's Hourglass, has the Guardian Angel. So this could possibly boil down to one more team fight, and Unicorns of Love are pushing into the top lane. They've been behind significantly for most of the game after a very early 2 kills going to their assassin, but they're now pushing. They now have control, they now have confidence, and FM eSports are on the back foot.
Yeah, it looks like Zodiac is going to try and pop some Panchi's Veils with a Distortion and a Sigil of Silence. Going to get rid of Accolords. Accolords still level 17, still the same level as the support on the side of Halasang. Actually, Yero the lowest level in the game right now, despite doing so well in the early game. It's just so tense and so close. Zodiac comes in, uses the Deathfire Grasp on Yero, doesn't really get anything out of it. That's Deathfire Grasp down for this fight. This should be the opportunity for FM that they need. The culling comes down, but no one opting to engage. Oh, this is very tough. Looks like their Nexus turrets are getting taken down. FM eSports need to react right now if they want to get away with a team fight. The inhibitor is respawning soon. They need to do something, though. They're going to lose this top lane inhibitor turret if they don't.
Yeah, the minions on the Nexus turrets are just doing so much of a distraction here as well. They got minions on the bottom lane turrets as well. Inhibitor has come back up, however, so if FM can wait this out, they should be in a good position.
Deathfire Grasp is only on half cooldown. Looks like Zodiac comes in, pops the Banshee's Veil on Samwise. That's a really big Banshees for the next 25 seconds.
And it's a big cooldown to be down, and I mean, FM just need to survive through a little bit. I'm going to go and check, is there one more Super Minion wave? No, the Super Minion waves have ceased in the middle lane, so they didn't quite get that last spawn before the inhibitor went down.
Deathfire is going to be up in 3 seconds. They missed their opportunity there, as it didn't really do much the first time it was used. I don't think they actually picked up that it was used, because if they had, they may have opted to go in on the LeBlanc, although the Banshees are stacking up on the side of Unicorns of Love too, so they need to be careful. Oh wow, looks like a couple of Distortions going to clear the entire way for Zodiaz. Hasn't got his Mimic available for the next 10 seconds though, so there's a couple of like tiny opportunities where FM can opt to engage. Oh, a great hook onto Accolord, not going to be followed up though. Busy in the front line, doing lots of damage as well as tanking up a lot too. He's running low on mana though, so Mira mana not going to be doing as much as it should be. Looks like they're going to come onto Accolwise again. Zodiac's going to get locked up by the Solar Flare from Yero. Looks like Churn the Waters goes onto Busy, not the best target to go down. Samwise picks up Busy in the back line though. Looks like Mayhem's going to use his Zhonya's Hourglass. Tundra going to get taken down, forces the GA, and in the back line, here comes the culling. Master of Sheepy going to go down to Samwise. This is exactly what Samwise needs to do. Forces the flash out of Halasang. Accolord going to flash past the Flame Choppers onto Halasang. Great Zenith Blade coming down. Is this the turnaround that we've been expecting or needing from FM eSports? No one has died yet. They've forced LeBlanc away into the middle. She's popped her GA. They could turn and win the game off this. There's the Distortion away, but shut down onto Fizz. They've got 70 seconds for LeBlanc right here. This is going to be FM eSports running up the middle. They're going to try and take away that middle lane inhibitor turret, if not try and win the game.
They should be able to take down at least the inhibitor turrets and both Nexus turrets at this point.
Look at them, they don't care. They want to tank this up. They're going straight for it. The teleport is available. He's teleporting to a ward right in front of it. He's got so much armor, he's going to be able to tank this up. They've only got 18 seconds till Yorick's battle, but it's 49 seconds till LeBlanc, and really LeBlanc is the main problem on the side of Unicorns of Love. They're going to go for this. They've got now or never.
Now or never is the case. I don't think Vardags is enough to hold this on his own.
This is going to be FM eSports.
Though he has so much AoE damage that FM are pushing, but look at the damage they're taking.
Oh my word, Vardags is going to do it himself. This is going to be a massive turnaround, triple kill. They've just ignored her, and that's going to be Samwise going down. He wants the penta. Is he going to get it? There's Akilord. He's going to get hit by the zap.
Oh.
No, escapes it by the minimum. And this is going to be probably sacrificing the penta for the game. That was so close for FM eSports. Wow.
Oh man, FM eSports were so concerned with Zodias being the member of Unicorns of Love that for the entire game has kept them in this. That Vardags, who has been quietly in the backline just shredding people for the last 20 minutes, is at 15-5, picks up 4 kills with that AoE damage in front of the turrets, and that inhibitor being down means that this wave is already pushed all the way into the base here, and Visage actually is so tanky.
Aquawise is not a Vardags. He's not going to be able to defend it himself. He's going to go down here. They're going to take the next turret. They haven't got enough time to defend. Aquawise not going to be the only one. There's a great ultimate coming out from Jinx at the end, and wow, Vardags with the solo defend against 5 members right there.
Heartbreaking for FM eSports. The 1v5 defense after the stacking in front of the Nexus towers means Unicorns of Love managed to come back from being 10,000 gold down in this game. They take this series 2-0, and that was a finish. That was
a finish indeed, and that was Vardags. That's how powerful Jinx is in that late game stage, and she just managed to solo them out. That was awful. Awful. I feel so bad for FM eSports right now, but we have a rematch. This is going to be this is going to be Rain Gaming against Unicorns of Love in the final. Rain Gaming having that 1 game advantage, needing to win 2 to take the championship, but Unicorns of Love are looking strong right now.